I'm editor Denny, your one and only amazing host for this wonderful show, Lifestyle Corner with your homegirl editor Denny. I'm super excited to be live today, and I know that you're excited to see me on your screen as always. So today I'm going to be talking about something quite interesting, certainly not about relationship. You guys should be calming down small, but today I'm going to be giving us some OT of some things that you need to know as individuals. So before we go into what we had to talk about today for the program, don't touch that dial. Your homegirl will be right back. Hey. Back to the show. Today I'm going to be talking about intentional growth. Yes, I need you to understand what it means to grow as an individual or as a business or whatever it is, or whatever aspect of your life that you need to grow. I need you to know that you have to be intentional about everything. So going forward, what is growth? Now, growth is a conscious determination to move from one point to another. Growth, it can be from an individualized point of view, it can be from a marriage point of view, it can be from a relationship point of view, whatever it is at all. Growth just doesn't happen. It is a constant movement and progression in oneself or business. So in essence, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that growth is simply advancement. Now, the thing is, a lot of people are not growing. They actually think they're growing, and time is passing in their lives, but they're not growing. Now, this is simply because probably while growing up, they had life all planned and mapped out for them. So they just assume, they have the assumption that growth will just happen. And another thing is that we just grew physically automatically, so they assume that growth will just happen in their lives. Now, this is what leads me to intentional growth. Now, what does it mean to be intentional about your growth? Being intentional is having a purpose for whatever it is that you want to do, being very deliberate about your growth in life. Now, we know that if you want to grow your purpose in life, for example, you know that you have to grow in your self-awareness. You have to know your strengths, your abilities, your potentials, what makes you you. And you know that if you want to grow in your business or your career, you have to grow your skill set. And if you want to grow as an individual, as in your relationships, to be a better partner, a better colleague, a better sibling, or a better friend, we know that you have to grow in your relationships. Now, how do one start growing? How does one get a plan for growing? Firstly, you have to be self-aware that you need to grow. In order for you to grow, you need to know who you are as a person, and self-awareness drives you to the areas that you actually want to grow in, or you actually want to grow in. So until you come to the realization as an individual that you need to grow, growth will never happen. Until you come to the realization as an individual that you need to grow, growth will never happen. Without self-awareness that you need to grow, you would not, or you are not going to do certain or put certain other things in place that would help you grow. Now, sometimes self-awareness becomes a problem for some people, because they are aware that they need to grow, but how to grow, they have not the slightest idea how to go about it. Okay, so for example, someone wants to grow his or her business. The first thing that comes to mind, or the first thing that person is thinking about, oh, I need money to grow my business, because most times that is exactly what happens. They feel like they actually need money to grow the business, and that leads me to limiting the issue of belief system. Now, talking about intentional growth, we need to examine our belief system, because people have limiting beliefs that hinder or stops them from actually growing. So for example, like I said, someone that wants to grow his business, the first thing the person assumes is that he actually needs money to grow, which is certainly not the first thing that you need to grow. So self-awareness is the first thing that you actually need to understand before you grow. All right, so secondly, so you need to get clarity. What exactly is it that you actually want to achieve in your life? What are the things that you want to grow in, or the things that you want to put in place that actually needs growth? Now, in the process of finding clarity, you find out that you actually probably need someone to help you grow, because the truth is, what you do not know, you do not know, and that's on period. Yeah. So thirdly, we want to make a decision. So right after your self-awareness, after you've been self-aware that you need to grow, you need to get clarity on the things that you need to grow in. Now you need to make a decision that you actually are going to get the help that you need to grow. And lastly, you're going to take the action to grow. So you're going to be self-aware, you're going to get clarity, you're going to make a decision, and you are going to take action. That even if you're afraid of the fact that, oh, I'm going to fail at it, I don't know how I'm going to do it, how I'm going to go about it, but the thing is, I am just going to do it. Now, those are some of the things that we need to put in place to actually begin to grow intentionally. So I'm going to move on to the challenges to growth, or some of the things that hinder us from actually growing. So the first one is the assumption gap. Now, there is an assumption that hinders or stops people from trying to even start to grow. I mean, they assume that growth will just happen. Like I said earlier, they just believe that, oh, okay, at this certain stage of my life, growth begins to happen. But which is never the case. Whilst for some others, which is number 2, is the confusion gap. Now, they are aware that they need to grow, but like I said, perhaps they do not even know the method, the steps, whatever it is. They don't even know how to start with growing. They don't know the things to put in place to start growing. Now, that is the confusion gap. Right, the third one, which is the perfection gap. Now, there's some people that fall in this category. They believe that they are of the opinion that everything has to be ready. They have to have all the money. They want everything to be well. They want everything to be set up perfectly before they can consider growth. And now, lastly, which is one of the biggest challenges that we actually face when trying to grow, is fear. Now, fear, some people are just afraid. Now, they're afraid of failing. They're afraid of making a fool of themselves. They're afraid of trying at all. Some of them are even afraid of success. I mean, and this hinders them from doing anything that can help them grow. Now, like I said, fear is the greatest challenge that we actually have when trying to grow. Yes. So now I'm going to move on to the laws that govern us or govern growth. So the first law is the law of intentionality. Now, this law actually states that growth doesn't just happen. You have to make it happen. You have to plan for it. You have to take actions. You have to do everything you need to do to actually grow. Now, growth doesn't just happen except you weed. Think of your growth as a beautiful garden. You do not just see the flowers spring forth without you planning, without time, without attention. Now, if you want your growth process to be beautiful, then you have to be intentional about your growth. Whatever it is, whatever it takes, you have to put it into action to actually grow. Now, the second law of growth is the law of awareness. The law of awareness. And this law actually states that you have to know yourself to grow yourself. You have to know yourself to grow yourself. And that's simply the truth. I mean, you have to know your strengths, your weaknesses, your area of interest, what inspires you, your potentials. Because if you do not know who you are, I mean, if you do not know all of this, you are not going to know what areas exactly it is that you need to grow. All right, so moving on to the third law of growth. The law of the mirror is the third law of growth. The law of the mirror. Now, this simply says that you must see value in yourself before you can add any more value to yourself. You must see value in yourself before you can add any more value to yourself. Now, this is talking about self-esteem issues. This is talking about how you see yourself, your sense of self-worth. Your sense of self-worth. I mean, if you feel like you are of no worth, you are of no use, then why bother? But if you see something beautiful and something great in yourself, then I think you are going to want to put everything in place to make it better or to make yourself better. All right, so if a lot of people struggle in this area because their sense of self-worth or self-esteem is not something they have really developed as adults, and it is something that actually starts from childhood, where your external environment or your significant others have created your sense of person, and it has become a part of you, and it has become who you are. Now, this is when self-awareness comes in again. You have to look within yourself, look at yourself again, and realize that what exactly is it that you think about yourself? You have to realize that every single person has self potentials, has a self-worth, you inclusive. Yes, so you have to look within again and find yourself. Now, if you don't think you are worth it, if you don't think you have the potentials, or you have the skills or the strength, you are not going to invest in yourself. That's the truth. So whatever it is you think about yourself, you actually become. So if you do not think you are worth it, you are not going to take time to invest in yourself. You're not going to take time to invest in your growth. And you have to believe in your personal value, and then you will begin to invest in yourself to grow. So if at all you actually want to maximize your potentials, you have to grow, and that growth has to be intentional. So today I am encouraging you with this few talks of mine. I hope I've been able to convince you, and not to confuse you, that you have to be intentional about your growth. I mean, I encourage us to get a growth plan. Don't limit to circumstances. Don't limit to hope. Hope is not a strategy. Hope is not a strategy. You have to get very intentional about your growth. You have to get very strategic about your own growth. Be deliberate. Move from accidental growth to intentional growth. All right, my people, thank you so much for coming to the show to see this beautiful girl. Well, I hope I've been able to drop 1 or 2 seeds in you today, and I want you to water those seeds. I need you to welcome them. I myself inclusive, I'm not perfect yet. We are all working to perfection. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do the right thing right now. Click the subscribe button down below this video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to give me a thumbs up right after this video, and don't forget to drop a comment down below this video. Thank you so much for tuning into Lifestyle Corner once again. I'm Enitor Jenny. Until next time.